Hello and welcome to my programming journey, and today I'm making the first little project from the learncbp.com website, and let's start with it. And our little project that we are doing is only multiplying by 2, and that's basically it because we want to learn what is important to do a project. And the first thing it says here, best practice, is that most of the programmers try to program all at once and then try to compile it, and then it doesn't work. So compile it, write something, compile it, and write again, and then compile it again. Otherwise, you will have so many errors in one place, and you cannot figure out where they all are. And one other important thing is try to write the code yourself. Don't copy paste it like we have examples here, but don't try to just copy paste them like I could do here. No, write them yourself. In this way you learn much better. And now on this website they go through all the details. First they add the main function, and then they add library, so on so forth. And now they have made the whole program here, but first in a not good solution, because they have an expression with the number that we have created recently, and you don't want that because your program will be just a big mess, and you don't want that. You want to have a scalable code. And again, a not mostly good solution, but not that good. You create an integer that has this inside that exactly does your operation, but you can do it better, and that is just by making this separate in your cout that you do it. When you have it multiple times, you don't use that mostly good solution. You make later a function, and we will go later to that in a future video, but for now this is the most best function you can use. Just put it in the cout and everything is clear. And because we should write all the code by ourselves, I made one by myself, and it basically does what we just explained, just with a little bit other text, but that doesn't really matter. I add the number 3, and you have chosen number 3, and we multiplied it by 2, and that is 6. And now we have a little example here that they want in our quiz time, and they just want that we triple our value and not just double it. And we could just do that by copying that code and paste down here. Yes, it is not writing it, but it is making it a little bit easier for us. You don't have to write it all yourself, just once, and you can reuse it. And we just make a 3 here, and then it works fine. And I just recognized I forgot the return to 0, but this is not really necessary in all the cases. It's just to know that the program knows that it ended. And now when we run it, you can see I can add number 3, and it will print us both values. And we have to adjust it a little bit because we have to add here a 3 that we have the right text. And if we add 3, or maybe we say 12 here, and multiplied by 2 is 24, and multiplied by 3 is 36, and that's basically it, and we did it ourselves. And with that we can go to the next chapter, and that is the summary of the chapter 1, and we can look what we went through in the chapter. We went into statements, what they are and what they do to perform every task, what are functions, because we use the main function for our examples now. We will go into further functions in the future. We looked into identifier, what those are. We looked into the syntax, how we have to write it in our code. We went into comments, how to write them, and then we looked what is actual data, where is it stored, and then we went into the definition of a statement and how we have to do it with variables and so forth, and what is a data type like the integer. And then we have the copy assignment, the equal operator, that it copies the value to a place or a memory. And then we have the initialization with the list initialization, that we got recommended from the program, the copy initialization, direct and list initialization, and the list initialization is that what we want to use. And then we learned what sdcout is, sdhandle and sdsyn, and that we used now as well. And we also learned that we never leave an uninitialized variable somewhere because it can make undefined behaviors that are very hard to figure out what they are. And then we learned we went into looking into the keywords, that they are reserved for special uses and you cannot use them in your code. And then we went into literal constants, that for example in the cout all the words are constants, you cannot change them in any way. And then we went into operations, plus, minus, multiplication, division, and looked how they are made. And then we went into some more operator stuff that we looked in that is not necessary for now. We will look into that later. Then we looked to expressions and evaluation forms to know what type of code is what and what it actually does. This is not that important for coding, just to know what sequence is for what. And then we had the expression statements in the same category, and then yeah, that's almost basically it. And we learned how code is actually structured, and that's the important fact. And if you want to read that by yourself, you can feel free to also go to learncpp.com and read it by yourself and learn with me if you want. And here we have also quiz time, and we can quickly go through it. And what is the difference between initialization and assignment? Initialization is basically directly initialize a value, and assignment is later adding it to it or changing it. And here the solution initialization provides a variable with an initial value at the point of creation, and assignment gives a variable a new value after the variable has already been defined. So if we give the variable a value of 5 and we say it is now equal to something else, that's an assignment. That before was the initialization. So the creation of the variable is the initialization, the assignment is that what comes later. And then we have the question 2. When does undefined behavior occurs? What are the consequences of undefined behavior? If we have a variable that's undefined, and undefined behaviors, you can basically not say what happens. It could happen everything, every error that you could imagine. And just don't do undefined variables. It could cause so many issues. And then question 3. Write a program that asks the user enter a number and then enter a second number. Program should tell the user what the result of adding the subtraction to the number is. And now we can quickly write another program, and we see us again when I have written it. And here I have my example that I have made, and here is the solution. If we enter 10, and for the first number and the second number we add, for example, 4, number 1 plus number 2, 10 plus 4 equals 14, number 1 minus number 2 equals 10 minus 4 equals 6. And that's basically what it wanted. And when we go back into the website, we can see that is the output that it wanted. And here is also a program that it does. And here, just for the variable, we defined it up here. And I think we don't have a bad layout here. It is actually also good. You could do it what suits you better, or you want to have for yourself if you can read it good like this. The only negative effect is if you have a variable in the middle of something, you have maybe confusion because you have to first search for the specific variable. If you declare it on the top, you can see everything, and it should not be a problem. The other stuff is made like I did, and yeah, that's basically it. And yeah, if you're still here, thank you for watching until the end, and I hope you enjoyed it or learned something watching the video. And with that, I say bye.